And welcome back to the analyst desk. I'm still your host, Hawk. I'm still joined by Rudu, but now we are joined by the man himself, the biggest meme on the Rift, RBM. How you doing?
I'm good. This portal is not going to stay. Just so everyone's warned. This thing's
the
going down
analyst desk.
fast.
This is the AD minigame of how long can RBM keep a Poro on his head that we're going to just slowly track throughout the time.
Hey,
I can't move.
If that does stay up for the entire 6.5 minutes that we still have, I would be very impressed. But either way, we've got to get on moving. And it is, of course, our next matchup of the day, the second and final best of 3 for this first day of group stage. It will be AOE Ginger Turmeric facing off against Team Fish Taco. What an insane series that we have queued up for us. I feel like most people coming in would have expected this to be the closer series of the two out of Group B.
Yeah, and I think that starting off at least, it's potential for it to decidedly be 2-0, 2-1. Any sort of prediction you could put out, I think is justified and you can make an argument for. I'm excited to see Team Fish Taco with Limo, with Toasty, this young up-and-coming mid-jungle duo, just to see what they can get going. Yeah,
I feel like this could be a 2-0 just for, like, the opposite reasons that you would think, though. Like, not that this game is going to be one-sided, but they're going to be so volatile. I feel like,
we
you
coin flip
mentioned...
at level 1.
Yeah, you mentioned that mid-jungle 2v2 for the side of Team Fish Taco, and then on the side of AOE Ginger Turmeric. I mean, that is 5 carry-oriented players on their side, and I mean, I'm just excited to get into it. Of course, before we do, over on the Path to LCS stream, we did just see 100 Thieves Next take a 2-0 victory over the DK crew, and make sure you hop over there to check out the second match of the day, which will be Cincinnati Fear up against Maryville University, and what is also sure to be an insanely close match. But either way, we're getting into it. AOE Ginger Turmeric up against Team Fish Taco. Let's first off, let's see what our casters think of this match. I do feel like I remember
Caster predictions.
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay, pretty split. Actually, very split. That's 5 and 5, I think, if I can count.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'm very okay. So
we're getting baited by Twitter. We're getting baited by Twitter as well. We put Twitter polls in. It is 5 and 5, but casters is 5-4.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, Twitter is tipping the scales. We'll see if you guys out there are on the right side or not. I like how we are evening it out. But as we get into it, we talked about this volatile mid-jungle 2v2, and RBM, you are, of course, a jungler yourself, having played for AOE just last year. What are you expecting out of this young duo of Toasty and Limo in this series?
Well, during like the last offseason, I saw a lot of people hyping up Limo. I wasn't really sure why or like where it came from. Limo did not play at all like the year before, or at least I wasn't aware. I don't know if he played in like any of the OQs and he just didn't qualify or anything like that. So I'm interested to see if he's like actually good and everyone's hyping him up. I think he probably should be pretty good getting on a team with Alorum. Alorum likes to play with good players. There he goes.
He did well.
Yeah.
But and then going against Keel is definitely tough. Keel is really, really good, as well as Keel and Captain Shrimps. They're a pretty crazy duo queue, especially because Captain Shrimps will play some really disturbing champs due to Coach Argentum. So I don't think the young guns will have it in them this time, but we'll see.
Ooh.
I think that so Limo played on a Dare team in the OQs last split that didn't qualify, but they did make it, and their AD carry as well. BMFX actually got picked up by 100 Thieves Academy. So it was Limo and BMFX that were like hyped up from this roster. Limo finds himself on Team Fish Taco. Obviously, we've got BMFX elsewhere, but there is that's where the hype, I suppose, from Limo was generated at the very least.
And I would say deservedly so. I mean, remember, that Dare Gaming roster, very little expectation for them in the first PGCQ, and they did make the main group stage. So Limo now back here for the second time at this main stage. But speaking of, Limo being a potentially big carry player, speaking of the disturbing champions that Captain Shrimps likes to play, turns out we have both those squares on our bingo card. We're going to bring that one up one more time just to catch back up. 5 squares crossed off other than the free space, but we've got some fun specific ones. Limo only playing carries throughout the series. Captain Shrimps maybe playing something disturbing, as you said, so disturbing that the Poro had to jump off your head. I don't know. What are we feeling? Are we going to get bingo this series?
And it's worth mentioning, so far we've got this weird X that's sort of coming on and off that can only be checked at the end of the day, the 100% Wukong presence as well. Team Fish Taco win series is also just another one we can check off. There's a lot to be picked up for, and there's also the Alorum special right next to, right sort of in the middle at the bottom right. Got picked or banned. That's also going to come through surely this series.
It very well could. It very well could. I mean, we've got the Wukong 100% presence so far. Worth noting, it was picked, I think, first pick, blue side, both games in the last series. But we've been talking a lot about these teams and particularly the mid-jungle 2v2. And I want to just ask, are the players to watch in the series the two junglers in Limo and in Keel? Or are we sort of looking elsewhere for maybe some of that X factor to come in, RBM?
I think a lot of the matchups are really interesting. I think Rare versus Alorum is going to be really good. Existence Top is probably his ID. I don't know what his actual ID is, but I think that matchup will be really fun. Yeah, I think that matchup will be really fun to watch. The ball lane matchup, I don't really care for it too much, just because I don't think AOE Ginger Turmeric can lose that ball lane matchup. I don't really find it possible. So I think that one should be a stop, but the other one should be pretty fun. I think Alorum has a lot of again, disturbing picks that you can pick out and just maybe carry a game and cheese a game so TFT doesn't get to it.
For sure. Well, we've got about 45 seconds left before we get into the game, so we're going to get into our predictions. RBM, I think I know where your allegiances lie, but I want you to spell it out for me anyway.
Yeah, I took AOE 2-0. I think TFT is a little bit too out of it, but I do want Alorum to at least pop off because he's my boy.
Fair enough. I gotta ask, is this anything to do with, you played AOE with AOE last season? Is it any sort of favoritism, or you think they just got it in them?
This is fake AOE now that it doesn't have Riley, so no favoritism towards AOE.
Hey, that's fair. That is fair. Riley, over on the Path to LCS stream with
Team 300 with my boy Raheen. Team 300 with my boy Raheen. Root for that team.
But, all right, Rude Dude, for you.
2-0 AOE, same as RBM here. I think this should be another game where a lot of excitement, but ultimately the same result.
Fair enough. I'm in dissent. I'm actually going for the 2-1 Team Fish Taco. I might just be voting for logo diff. I think it's an adorable logo, but no, I think Team Fish Taco really does have a lot of promise to them. You guys have mentioned Alorum is such an experienced top laner, and I really am going to look up to sort of play around this explosive mid-jungle 2v2 because Limo and Toasty, they're some of the most exciting young players in amateur right now. But, of course, we got to get underway with the draft. So make sure you tweet hashtag #WeAreRare. Let us know what your thoughts on the series are. But Grapes and Smacks, take it away for the second series.
Thank you very much, Hawk. I mean, I just gotta say, first of all, it's Ginger Turmeric versus Team Fish Taco. I'm Grapes. Max, you're a little bit out of the loop here with the food. Can we call you Snacks?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a thing that we can do?
I think there's a cereal called Honey Smacks.
Honey Smacks.
I believe. I think that's a thing.
I feel like that's a cuter name than just Snacks. I don't know. What do you think?
Honey Smacks.
Oh,
it's spelled differently. It's spelled with a CK. All right.
CK? I mean, yeah. We'll take it or leave it. Either way, very, very food forward this second series of the day. And either way, I think both these teams hungry for a victory, going up against the winner here for Jake's Kittens. And I think this is going to be a really, really close series. I know RBM really wasn't on that same boat, but it is really two really, really close-seeded teams.
Yeah, I want to call him out for that. Where is his allegiance to his former Zeus Gaming top laner? What about Alorum? You know? They went to Proving Grounds together last year, and now you're predicting against him. Where's the faith?
You know what it is? It's because RBM is mad because Zeus was originally like the cutest logo last year. Now TFT, I think, takes over a little bit here, and Alorum is on that team, RBM on the desk, so maybe he has to sway his allegiances a little bit one way or the other, but I think either way, going into this series, I know 2 of our 3 desk members predicted a 2-0. I personally had TFT, so another maybe dissenter there alongside Hawk. These are 2 really close teams, and I think going into the way that the matchups work, I mean, I'm really excited to see how it goes. Oh, we're against each other right now, Smack.
We are against each other. We're shaking things up.
Okay.
I've got AOE Ginger Turmeric.
We'll see who the better caster is.
Yeah, shaking things up so much that I believe your astronaut guy fell over. There's a bit
No,
of a quake.
he's chilling. He's lying down on the towel.
Oh, it's nap time.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
it's
it.
nap time. It's a little late.
Okay,
here.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I want to talk about why I think AOE GT is favored here. First of all, I agree with RBM that this bottom lane should be pretty favored, and this is going to be a bit of a new piece of information I think right now, because on the graphic it did say Shoryu was playing. I do not believe that is the case. I do believe that Sonar is going to be subbing in. He subbed in for Wildcard main in the Proving Grounds event last split as well. Didn't do a super well, but they were against an academy team, so it was going to be tough regardless. But I do personally feel that Shoryu was a big part of this team before, and was a lot of why I had my faith in this squad. I think with Sonar playing, that does go a little bit away. I want to see what Sonar is capable of, and maybe he can shake up that opinion of mine, but I do think that this does sway things more over on the AoE side.
Yeah, speaking of Sonar down in the bot lane, subbing in again. Last time he did that again in Proving Grounds, Alarm was also there alongside Coach Lucian, actually. So we kind of have seen this story before, and I think the main takeaway from that was that, you know, in those games, Alorum was on tanks as he normally was throughout his split on Wildcard, and then Sonar was trying to play some of these main carries, didn't really get to that hyper carry spot, ended up getting shut down pretty easily by their academy counterparts. And so I think now coming into this, Team Fish Taco definitely have to focus a little bit more towards their top side. Alarm is a player that can get really big leads up there, and so maybe on a champion with a little bit more carry potential, that could be the avenue for TFT to look forward.
Certainly could. We know that both Existence and Alorum really like to play those tanks, and when it's a tank versus tank matchup, you can really get into some funky stuff. You can go for a lot of those solo kills and really just try to scale up faster than your opponent. And for AGT, that is something that we expect them to want to do, specifically the solo kill portion. We know that a lot of these players really like being the carry on the team, the one making those early game plays in every single lane. They try to make plays to win together, and sometimes that works really well. We got to see, I think it made its way onto the bingo card, right? Where they've got like 10k gold leads really fast. And that's because they really like trying to win all together individually.
And I think that was actually maybe a portion of why Area of Effect Ginger Turmeric maybe struggled a little bit more than many have expected throughout the open qualifier. They finished 3-2. They were seeded number 3, expected to go 4-1 if the seeding ended up working out properly. I think a lot of that just came down to the way that they drafted, picking maybe too many carries, too many cooks in the kitchen. And now I think with some more time on a new patch, a little bit of extra days of scrims to maybe work with, this is where AGT really can start to shine and pick a big carry that they can work off of.
Speaking of the new patch, Grapes, we've been talking about it a bit here in these draft segments. We noticed on the solo queue stats, the win rates, that there's one champion who wins way more than every other in the entire game right now, and that is Singed Mid. It is at a 57% win rate right now. And if there's one guy that I think is probably skewing those stats and playing a lot of Singed Mid, that guy is Captain Shrimps. This is the classic that he picked on Cloud9 Amateur in Proving Ground Summer to win their games and make it to that Cloud9 Civil War battle. This could be the angle for Captain Shrimps to bring it back.
Hey, it got through the first phase of bans. The Rumble didn't, which is another Captain Shrimp specialty, but hey, the Singe still on the board. With the Lilia pickup for Keel, maybe not wanting to stack as much magic damage, but we still have so much the draft left to go. On the AGT side, a lot of the power picks, Solution, Talia, Gwen, taken off the table for TFT. Limo, a very good Gwen jungle player. Not surprised to see that taken off the board. We'll see what they respond with here on this one too. A Kog'Maw for Sonar. Now this is really interesting, Smacks, because when coming into this, we definitely did not expect to see Sonar really on a big carry, but they are putting faith into their sub.
This definitely feels like that big carry moment for him. Kog'Maw Lulu for Sonar Winter. This is going to be the most powerful scaling duo, or mid-game duo, I should say, as they just have so much on-hit at that stage of the game. All of this damage is sometimes just unbeatable unless you take it down in that lane early on. Caitlyn might be the one to do it.
Caitlyn, yeah, definitely is very good at maybe shutting down the early game of an already weak early game lane in the Cog Lulu. Morgana on top of that could be something that we see from Duo Selena. He's very, very comfortable on that champion, and it would round out this bot lane very, very nicely throughout the first rotation. But it ends up being another Enchanter, though, coming through for Duo Selena, the Soraka, to make this lane even more oppressive.
All right, double range for both of the bottom lanes in this game one. Very volatile stuff, lots of damage, lots of trading capabilities across the board. This is going to be super exciting. And whenever there is a double ranged matchup, that means that the junglers want to go there as soon as possible and influence that lane state, because double range can really get very oppressive very fast. And Caitlyn is the queen of doing that. You have those moments where she just completely outranges you, she pushes you in constantly, she takes your turret so fast, and then before you know it, 5 plates are gone, she's hitting mid lane. You do not want that to happen if you are on the side of Team Fish Taco. And similarly, AOE Ginger Turmeric don't want that to happen with the Kog'Maw Lulu. So junglers, gank there now.
And in terms of junglers that like to gank, Lilia and Graves are the selections here. Maybe not necessarily the early game level 3 dive bot lane kind of champions, but you know, still champions that can really make impact across the map. Another bingo card checked off, by the way, as the Urgot taken away on the side of AOE Ginger Turmeric.
True.
So that's another thing, another small victory here for the desk, as it looks like top lane is the focus in the second rotation.
Touching on the bingo card, I think this is probably going to be the exception for the Wukong space. I don't think this is going to be picked or banned from here. Lilia really does a lot to deny that champion. We've been talking about it a bit today as we are in that new patch. This is a really strong one that got a lot better on the new patch because she stays more durable in all of these team fights. She gets to just prance around and sleep everybody that she wants, and it does very well specifically into Wukong because she can run circles around him, and Wukong does not stack magic resist, he stacks armor. So Lilia's very good into that, and likely if we're seeing this Graves at all, it's not going to be jungle. They gave us a tease right there, Graves. It might be going.
Man, Hyper's playing with our emotions right now. It is a Scion blind pick locked in for Team Fish Taco. Looks like they're going to wait for Toasty to lock in that final pick. It was on the wrong side anyway.
Whoa!
And this is interesting. Wukong locked in. We already see the Lilia in the top side of the map. Not exactly sure what's going to go on here. Is this existence on the Wukong top? Not something we've seen so much here on this recent patch.
Yes, very, very often a jungler, which kind of makes me think that it might not be Lilia jungle if they're first picking it as well. That also gives us that information. A Captain Shrimp special here at Grapes. I know we've talked a lot about his Rumble, a lot about his Singed, but this is the ranged champion that he loves the most. The Xerath is also a classic for him. Perhaps going to be difficult if that Zed gets locked in, but will provide them that extra range capability that they already had from Caitlyn. This is going to make it even more annoying to deal with.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Sonar and Winter to kind of get in onto the immense range that AGT have. Won't be the Zed, unfortunately. Just another champion for Toasty that can get Prio and end up impacting the rest of the map in the Syndra. And take a look at that. Is existence on the Lilia top. I really like this into the Scion. Makes this lane really, really hard for him.
Am I big brain or what, Grapes?
You are. Big brain. Snacks for the brain. It's food for thought, right?
Keep complimenting me.
Got the food puns here. Got the predictions here on the draft. And I really like what AGT set up. They have, I would say, lanes that perform well all across the Rift. And now you have the strongest jungler in the game, potentially, in the Wukong. You have Lilia, which scales really well as well. I mean, AGT's comp, really like it.
Lilia does really well into these tanks also. It's going to be really difficult to hit a decimating smash on a champion that's going 1,000,000 miles an hour around the Rift. So I feel like this is Existence's moment to actually win this matchup and show us that he's not just a tank player, you know? We know that Lilia is really strong on this new patch, but Existence typically does go for that tank, and we were even expecting both of the top laners to just match tank for tank and play more to this bottom side. That's certainly what Team Fish Taco has decided to do. Not Existence.
Yeah, it's interesting because in terms of the top side, both of these players, Alorum and Existence, have very, very unique champion pools. Both have been around since around 2015, have been playing the game for 5+ years competitively, and have just garnered so much experience, so many different pocket picks they can whip out. Even though they're both weak side, the 1v1 is definitely going to be exciting either way, and having Existence pull out this Lilia top, the flex pick coming through, really, really excited to see it, and we'll see if it pays off for AGT as we're onto the Rift.
It's paying off for our bingo sheet, Grapes. The
It is.
Wukong 100% presence rate is still alive and well. And as you said before, the Urgot one is there. We're getting closer, everybody. We're trying to win that ultimate prize. Was there a prize or a bet or anything involved
Prize
with that?
is I don't know. I was trying to think of something that we could do. Let us know if there's anything we like the casters maybe can like do a punishment.
Oh man, wait. Why would we get? We didn't have anything to do with this. We're spectators.
That is
We're
true.
just like the chat. They're just like me for real.
Punish the chat then. Is that what we're thinking?
Yes.
Yes.
We're punishing chat. How would we do this?
For not doing. Yeah, just
we put it in emote only mode. Is
emote
that
only
how we
mode.
do it?
Yes. They can't
Alright.
flame any of us. Anyway, into the game. Ginger Turmeric on the blue side. Team Fish Taco on the red. Very standard 5-point. Neither of these players want to get too crazy to start this off. Another bingo card right there, going for that early level 1 5v5. Not there just yet. It will just be Limo and Alorum actually starting on the Raptors this time around, while Keel will go for the more traditional red buff start.
Yeah. For Alorum, you know, we get some really wild leashes that you can go for with a Scion. If you're committing to dying, it's even
Yeah.
better sometimes. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Just decimatingly smashing. Is that how you would say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Smashing. Yeah. Okay.
Smashing,
That works.
decimate. Yeah, no. You said it right.
Great. I love saying things right, and I love it when Alorum is able to help out his jungler with the clear.
And he gets back in lane in time to clear the wave out. I don't think he's expecting to do very much in the 1v1 against Existence anyway, so either way, you know, giving up a little bit more time, a little bit more prio, not the worst thing in the world. As we take a look at the bot lane here, big trading between these enchanters. Sonar getting chunked pretty low. I want to take a look at the stat here. Again, we're talking about the Captain Trip specialty smacks. This is the Xerath, and he's got a couple more in his back pocket as well.
Oh yeah, he loves this champion. He loves a lot of specific champions. That's one of my favorite things about NA Amateur. You always get the guys who just have the weirdest possible champions because they just come from solo queue. They've grinded up to, you know, absurd amounts of LP, playing the weirdest things imaginable. I think if I remember correct, Kappa Trimps is really, really high on the ladder right now. I think he's the highest in this game, and some of that's going to be on his pocket picks.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this is a player that has done so many great things even throughout the past couple of years. Played on Cloud9 Amateur, I think, as our desk mentioned earlier, and as you mentioned while we were talking about the Singe mid pickup. So a very seasoned player, has been to Proving Grounds, and now looking to make their way back here as well.
I was right, by the way. He is currently rank 5 on the ladder, so even higher than I thought he was. I was like picturing like 20 or something, but no, rank 5. For the Shrimp Captain himself, playing his signature Xerath. And against Toasty, who did have counterpick here, we're expecting Toasty to have an early lead, as Syndra typically does in these matchups. You can actually get in range of the Xerath. That's the big thing, is Limo trying to get in range of his bottom lane.
Big Graves gank potentially coming. Winter gonna flash Polly in onto Deep Learning. The flash might not be enough. Limo might get the block away, but it is first blood onto the Graves. Dua Selena trying to escape, and it looks like the Soraka will be able to do so, but Team Fish Taco on the board to start the series off.
Nicely done there for Limo, and AOE Ginger Turmeric just were not ready for a Graves to gank their lane. They did not have any vision, and they walked up even still. This is exactly what I wanted to see from the junglers here. They need to actually get these things down in the ranged v ranged lane, because now Sonar and Winter can just run this lane over.
Yeah, this is a lane with the Caitlyn. If you have a Caitlyn, you have to win in the early game, and right now dying to that gank as Deep Learning, definitely not a good sign. The wave is in a decent enough spot where it looks like he'll be able to push it out at least, get the reset, but a lot of crucial minions, a lot of crucial gold missed out on that exchange.
Pretty big deal for this Caitlyn. Now the wave pushing against her also. All the way underneath this turret, not a whole lot to be done, especially if you don't want to risk being ganked by Graves again. Gonna push it out just a little bit more, trying to get it to bounce back and get the wave back to an even state where they can go for all these trades. As we mentioned before, they were going very heavily on Duo Selena. If he's able to hit all these star calls, then you just stay sustained up. That's the idea of picking this into the Kog'Maw Lulu. There's no sustain there on Lulu, but that's Duo Selena's strength here on the Soraka.
And so far, you know, the lane's still getting the push for Deep Learning and Duo Selena. You just have to worry if another gank comes back there for Limo. Can punish once again. Look at the top side here. Alorum, you know, holding his own, all things considered. Only down about 10 CS in this matchup. That is a counter, all things considered. Looking like he's maintaining his weak side status pretty well.
Truly not that bad for Alorum. This is what we expect of him, though. He's been around for a very long time. Always can put off these really big tank performances. And this is, again, why he's on this team, why he's able to still be competitive after all these years and at the top of his game, no less. Of course, he'd like to get back up into that Academy and LCS conversation, and I have to commend him for that. You know, it's not every player that will just continue trying and trying and trying. I absolutely love having Alorum in our league.
Yeah, I think he's a player that really pushes both his teammates and also his opponents. And speaking of that, in terms of making these people grow, that's something that Team Fish Taco really, I think, set their minds to as, hold on, Limo. Oh no, Limo might be in trouble. Okay, Captain Shrimps is unable to take the steal. Limo able to secure the Drake. But talking about Limo again, him and Toasty are sort of the newcomers for this team. Winter, Sonar, Alarm had been around for a while, and I think that's kind of what Team Fish Taco wanted to do. Help these younger players really grow with some experience on their side.
I've got a fun fact regarding that. Did you know, I know you did because I've told you this before, but did you know that Alorum is over 10 years older than his mid laner on this team? Toasty is only 16. And that is so entertaining to me. They've got the full spectrum of the boomer zoomers.
I heard, again, we've talked about this before, but it's still just so hilarious every time. And again, testament to Alorum and how he's able to stay in such a good position at the top of North American League of Legends for such a long time, and being a player that really can hold his own and also help the rest of his team. We saw this with Raheen, with Zeus Gaming last year as well, as just being some of these new players. And I mean, there's a reason that he's still here and a reason why we're still talking about him as one of the top players in this league.
And same with Winter as well. You know, he's coming back from his stint over across the ocean in Europe. He is back in North America, ready to play in amateur yet again. And I'm really excited for him as well. I've been a big Winter fan for a very, very long time. And I was excited to see him play with Shoryu on this team. It would have been very reminiscent of the old days on 2020, anew, back when they won the entire circuit. However, I still have good modern memories of Winter too. He was one of the Barrage Boys and the Resolve team as well that took down Team Liquid Academy and Cloud9 Academy in Proving Grounds 2021.
Yeah, and some really great players came out of that organization as well. APA, Fnatic, just to name a couple of them. And Winter, another one of them that is still a very, very, very talented support, has been to Scouting Grounds a number of times, really at that echelon between Amateur and Academy, really just, and continuing to try and prove that he is worthy of that next step.
And also try to lead these new rookies on this team for Team Fish Taco as they are off to a pretty solid lead. You know, with that early gank from Limo, he's able to keep all the agency in these objectives as well, taking that first dragon. They give over the Herald, yes, but they've got a lot of farming down for Limo, and he will need to do this also as he's playing the scaling champion, will be dealing a lot of that frontline damage for this team, and does actually need to stay ahead in terms of the experience, because otherwise existence on this Lilia is going to be so annoying for him to deal with.
Yeah, just having to continue to farm. Of course, existence doing a lot of the same as well. And I think this slow early game is not really too much of a surprise for Team Fish Taco. Actually ranked last place among all qualifying teams in terms of combined kills per minute, only averaging about 1 per minute in that regard. As we might see Limo go for a bit of a lane gank here. I don't know if it's going to work out though.
Somebody's got to walk up and work this.
Oh, Usalina! He gets poly! He's dead! Limo picks up the kill! That's the patience paying off right there.
Oh, and the impatience for AOE Ginger Turmeric's bottom lane again. I said it out loud. I was like, somebody's going to walk up and ward. They know that something is amiss. They've felt the gank coming before, and they don't prepare for it this time either. It is going to be another successful gank, and 2-0 here. Wait.
Alorum under attack, right of the arcane. Barely tickling the Scion at this point. Has the Spectre's Cal. Lilia and Azerath, they're not going to do much under the tower.
you kind of need Keel there to actually get those
Yeah, you do.
kills down. He has too much magic resistance against existence. And yeah, Captain Shrimps does not help. You're
Gonna kill Toasty. In a bit of trouble here. Flashing right into the sun. Flashing straight forward, and Captain Shrimps will be able to pick up that kill. Really nicely played out of Ginger Turmeric, punishing Team Fish Taco.
Oh, Toasty flashed directly in a straight line and still got caught out by the orb. It stuns for such a long time, as we're seeing again. It lands onto Winter underneath this turret. It is truly remarkable how long you can be stunned by that spell.
And Keel able to proc the Herald because of it as well, getting another nice chunk of gold back in favor of AOE Ginger Turmeric, who are still down in comparison to Team Fish Taco. Let's take a look at this mid replay one more time. Toasty, maybe just a little bit of a panic flash here.
This is so important for AOE GT to actually get right as well, because this is the first gank here for Keel. There have already been a couple of ganks in the bottom lane that were very successful for Limo, and this does open up Captain Shrimps for more opportunities later on. I already mentioned that if Toasty is able to get an early lead and stay in range of Captain Shrimps, it gets really difficult to actually outmatch the damage of something like a Syndra. So Captain Shrimps now, with a kill lead, will actually get some pretty solid damage down in these next coming objectives. And that might completely ruin the opportunity for Team Fish Taco to actually stack up these Drakes.
See if it ends up being a bit of a hindrance, though. It is being started up right now. Limo, Sonar, and Winter in the area. And we do have Deep Learning Duo Selena down in the bot lane trying to push this out. And it looks like the timing is just not there for Ginger Turmeric. They're going to give up the second dragon, say, okay, we're going to fight the next one. Make sure you don't get that soul point.
I'm seeing that Deep Learning has got a Vamp Scepter on Caitlyn. And I'm really curious as to what that is going to be for. I assume this is just like a lot of sustain early and then eventually that goes into a Bloodthirster? Maybe? I can't imagine this is a Lifesteal Mythic that I'm forgetting the name of.
Shield Bow doesn't sound
Shield
great.
Bow, yeah.
I don't think Bork sounds that great either, other than just into
definitely
Alorum. We'll see what it ends up building into, though. Keel, they try to make a bit of a play on the bot side of his own, flash in for the Cyclone. Sonar forcing to use the Summoner spell defensively as well, but now they are unable to pick up any kills, and Limo has joined the fray as well. TFT survived with nothing.
Good Summoner spells used there for Sonar, and now AoE has that opportunity to maybe go for that Drake fight that I was mentioning before. They do have it on a timer where when the Drake spawns, Sonar still won't have that flash, and that could be a dead Kog'Maw. A very big deal if they can find it. It's just a setup for the future for AoE GT. That you can see that they were trying to get that kill. Also, they just a little bit fell short. As this could be the kill.
Oh, Sonar, a little trouble. Ultimate did not end up, finishing the job here. But see Captain Shrimps going around the map, throwing the ultis out, trying to generate as much pressure as possible. Hasn't found any kills in the side lanes just yet. But you can see the damage starting to build up. And this is a signature pick for Captain Shrimps. Has the range alongside the Caitlyn. Fish Taco, it'll be hard to take him down.
Even though they didn't kill Sonar there, they pushed him off the first time, and then also the second time with Captain Shrimp's ult. And that's going to directly mean that Deep Learning and Duo Selene are able to pick up these 2 plates in the bottom lane. Very, very big deal for the Caitlyn Soraka.
Keel dashes away from the stun. It's not enough to secure the kill. Oh! Nice shield coming out from Winter, and now Limo going to try to punish here. Shrimps forced to flash away. Dark Harvest nearly taken down the Xerath.
Tell that Limo is very aware of how much damage his champion does, even on the new durability patch. So big commends to Limo for being able to do that. This is definitely showing us that they have been putting in the work on this Graves pick, and it's certainly working out. Team Fish Taco, again, finding some pressure onto this Rift. I do want to bring it back to this bottom lane conversation, though, because with those turret plates, I think it's probably a gold lead for Deep Learning now on this Caitlyn, which is exactly the opposite of what TFT were going for with those bot ganks.
Let's take a look right now. It is actually Deep Learning ahead of Sonar by about 600 with all the plates, all the CS in their favor. I mean, this is kind of what we were expecting given the champions in the lane. Sonar still working towards that first item, Rageblade, getting to a state where he will be able to team fight, will be able to do a lot of damage. But for now, Deep Learning and Duo Selena still in a pretty decent spot.
It's a coal cash out as well, as we saw Deep Learning shoot up to the top of that leaderboard, and he's probably going to stay there, I imagine. I'm still curious about the mythic item, but we'll see. We'll get our answers.
It's just a Noon Quiver right now. It could potentially still build into that Gale Force. Not 100% sure just yet. The Shield Bow providing a little bit of extra survivability, but not entirely 100% on that one. Keel actually peeling off of the Rift Herald there, as the priority for TFT lies in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mentioned before also that Sonar and Kog'Maws in general have been going for this Rage Blade first, and it's looking like that's what we're going to see right now. I was actually, I've been seeing people experiment with it, but I wasn't sure if it was actually like the mathematically correct build, but it seems like Sonar has determined that it is, so that's pretty neat.
The gank in the mid lane, Shrimps has no flash, here comes Limo. Challenge Smite does land, big stun coming out from Shrimps, and the collateral damage is not enough to take him down.
It is enough to scare him off, perhaps, as he does need to stay on the outskirts of this range. Oh, Duoselina's here. The ambulance has arrived.
The ambulance.
Wee woo.
And Shrimps just able to get back in the lane because of that. Duoselina utilizing the Soraka pick very, very well. The shields aren't super powerful just yet, but they do enough to make sure that Shrimps is able to push this wave out, stay in this lane for as long as possible.
You see that he's maxing that heal as well. Some Sorakas have been maxing Q, and I think that's just wrong. You need to max the heal.
You need the heal,
for
yeah.
sure. It is way too much healing if you level that skill first. And as support, you are always guaranteed to get into the late game where you have 2 skills max. So I support this. I also support taking bottom lane turret as Caitlyn, and that is something that Deep Learning has now accomplished.
I'm not sure what happened there with Sonar. I guess since Winter was up towards the mid lane, Sonar was just having to back away, and that means that Deep Learning was able to take that first turret down to the bot side. On top of that, Ginger Turmeric also using the Herald to break open mid, so it is all of a sudden 2 towers to nothing in favor of Ginger Turmeric, and now they're up 2,000 gold with this 3rd dragon spawning. Limo wants to get to this sole point. The team fighting for Ginger Turmeric could be here.
Grapes, I'm sad.
Why are you sad?
Deep Learning went for shield. I don't think you do any damage with shield. I'm concerned about this for the future of AOE Ginger Turmeric.
Yeah, the late game damage probably wasn't on Deep Learning to start off, but having Shield Bow, very defensive item. You're playing an offensive champion like Caitlyn. Don't know how much sense that ends up making. Will allow a little bit of extra survivability against the burst of Limo and Toasty. But yeah, in terms of just bursting someone down 100-0 with that Gale Force combo, not going to be there.
We'll find out. I'm thinking that's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
This is Deep Learning we're talking about. He does some quirky stuff in the games from time to time, and maybe this is the mathematically correct build. Like I was saying, maybe the new patch just has this one going for us. I'm worried that Alorum is going to be unkillable, and he already is starting to feel that way in the top lane against the Riftmaker Lilia.
Yeah, that is true. With the shield bow, it makes it much easier for Alorum to just kind of stack magic resist in this situation. With only really Keel being able to do big damage with the Divine Sunderer. If Deep Learning is not able to put in the auto attacks. Winter! Ooh, in a bit of trouble. Nice blast cone.
That was really close.
Yeah.
Winter. He was very nearly on the same side of the wall as the Wukong, and that is definitely not what you want. They're dealing a lot of damage to Existence.
Oh yeah, Existence actually popping a nice 2-man Lilting Lullaby though. The turnaround could be here. Limo does have the ulti on top of him. Collateral damage out to safety as all of AGT is around this top lane outer turret. Keel maybe looking for a flank. Has the flash, has the Cyclone. Having to push this wave out though might mean that GTC back off.
Ooh, and they very well could lose out on this mid lane turret, or at least the wave here, as Captain Shrimps did commit to that play, leaving his post and giving Toasty time to push in that wave, and I believe taking
Nemo in trouble. That's a Cyclone. Heal. Wow, just going in there and taking the kill.
I wasn't even paying attention to that. Keel found the angle. Nicely done. There's no smite there for Limo either.
There's the one opportunity there where Keel is able to go with the all-in here. Limo didn't have the collateral damage, didn't have the smite, and the invade was just too easy with Deep Learning pushing up top. Now, can they get anything else on top of that? Sonar and Winter are still strong. Shielding is there. Keel looking to be really aggressive here, putting in the Q onto the turret before dashing away.
Have the map back to a bit of a neutral state here for AOE GT as they're going back to pushing out multiple lanes at the same time, even though Keel did commit up in the top side. It's very easy for them to do this now that they did know that the jungler was dead. I'm surprised they didn't actually go for any of these camp steals either. It feels like Lilia is really good at doing that, but I was just shown that Lilia can also just immediately one-shot a minion wave with the Riftmaker only, so that's pretty good.
not even going for any more damage on top of it. Has a potential frozen hardened inventory after that. So Existence,
Oh, true.
they're still living up to the tank playstyle a little bit with just going for tank items potentially. Does work really well against Kog'Maw, against Graves. Being in the middle of the team as a Lily is very easy.
I wonder if Fimbulwinter's good on this champion. Probably.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Oh no, it wouldn't be because she is ranged. If she was melee, it'd be so broken.
Oh, does it? Okay, so it is different. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't give you the shield if you slow somebody unless you're melee, so it wouldn't work. Never mind.
Okay.
Forget everything.
The theory crafting is here. We can see, first of all, 4 kills in 20 minutes. We have to talk about something. So the theory crafting with the itemization is definitely welcome, Smaxy. So keep talking about that if you so come up with any other ideas. But I think this is how.
I've got one other.
Yeah.
Did you know that it is actually actively bad for Dr. Mundo that he does not have a mana bar? Because if he did, he'd be able to buy Fimbulwinter, and it'd be the most broken item in the entire game on him.
That is true. You can't build the tier even.
No, it doesn't stack.
You can build like Ludens and like it just doesn't stack.
You can build a tier of the goddess, but it won't stack because it only does it when you
I see.
when you cast or when you use mana. So it doesn't work. It's a tragedy.
Speaking of tragedies, nearly dodged one there with Limo. Almost face-checking 5 members of Ginger Turmeric down in the bottom lane. Dragon spawning in about 40 seconds. It is sole point for Team Fish Taco. They will get the Cloud Soul if this objective is secured, but you see them all focused around the top side. They actually don't really want to go for the objective, maybe just trying to funnel some more gold into Sonar before they want to fight.
You know, Grapes, I was feeling like this game was a little slow,
Yeah,
and
it's
that
a little
fun
slow.
that fun fact really locks it in for me. This is the lowest kills of the entire tournament so far.
Hyper's just typing the fun facts because he has nothing else to do.
That's pretty funny. I love these fun facts so much. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts of this broadcast. You were saying, though, that Team Fish Taco's 1 Drake away from taking this Drake Soul. It doesn't look like they're too concerned about that. They're not going for it at all. They've left it up to just Existence, and they're not even, like, checking to go for it. They're just going for the turrets instead. Maybe... I don't know what the idea is here. Maybe just they don't think that Cloud Soul is good.
They'll be trying to funnel some more gold into Sonar before they have to go for a 5v5. Because you know Ginger Turmeric, we're itching to go for the 5v5 if Team Fish Taco was in the area. So instead, Sonar gets to push out a couple of waves, take a turret. Probably will have, I believe, either a Phantom Dancer or a Runons upon resetting here. And so maybe that's the play. Maybe you just need to keep working things out. I'm not too surprised that we see these teams, being so passive with the durability changes. Plus, we have a Lorem on Team Fish Taco, and you have Deep Learning and Duoselina on the other team for Ginger Turmeric. I mean, both these teams really like to team fight, and it seems like they're going to stick to that mantra for the rest of the series.
I've got one more cool item thing for us, Grapes.
Hit us.
I want us to look at Sonar's items and acknowledge that he has a Ruby Crystal. This means that he is going for the Mia build. The Mia build originated on Vayne. You would go for Rageblade into Runan's Hurricane and then Titanic Hydra. You have an insane amount of wave clear. You're really difficult to kill, and delaying the Mythic is alright because you're playing champions that have a lot of on-hit. It works on Kog'Maw, works on Vayne. It sometimes works on Twitch. I don't think it's that good on him, though.
My one question is, they have a longsword in their inventory as well. That doesn't build into Titanic Hydra, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, does it not?
So.
I thought it did.
I think it's just
maybe...
Tiamat and then 2 health items. I play Scion, so I like have this in my mind, kind of like built into my memory.
Okay.
So
I thought it was out of
sure.
a Jarum's Fist. I thought that was one of them.
I don't think that item exists anymore, Smash.
What?
It's the Wild Rift. It's a Wild Rift coming back.
Oh no, it is Wild Rift. No. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm supposed to know things.
Casting 2 games is definitely a struggle. I respect
especially
that
when they're both called League of Legends. Oh yeah.
Just so similar with just a couple of differences.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what that sword is doing, but I do
just be a
believe that this
longsword.
is the Mia build.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a longsword and then Sonar decides to sell the control ward, go into the Tiamat, and that's just what they decide to do. But either way, 2 items completed on Sonar is really scary. On a bit of a hyper carry, 24 minutes into this game. Mid tower under fire, and it looks like it's going to go down. Captain Shrimps is pushing up on the top side. Only Deep Learning and Duoselina are around here. We'll watch Gil. He's on the backside. Can he go for the flank?
He would be on a ward, so he has to stealth immediately out of this brush, and he wouldn't have decoy for
TP.
the fight. He's doing it all the same.
Here we go. Cyclone lands onto 3. The fight might have begun. Beautiful scout of the week coming out from Toasty, but Existence coming in with the teleport as well. Looking Lullaby lands onto 2. Toasty in a bit of trouble. Will get taken down, but he has the wild growth on top of him. Watch Sonar on the backside. He's still alive. He's still doing damage, but finally Deke Lerman takes him down as 3 are dead on the side of Team Fish Taco and make it 4. The fight works well for AGT, and they punish the overextension.
Oh, Team Fish Taco are just far too split up on the play thanks to the chaotic nature of Keel's engage. What a flank from the Monkey King. Keel dealing the most damage in the team fight. Nicely done for him as they're setting up for this Baron. Lorem does have Smite. Oh no.
This is a little scary. Keel knows that he must take down the Scion here. Use the Blast Cone over. Alorm does have the flash, but not going to go for the 50-50. It will be AOE Ginger Turmeric. Absolutely blowing this game open at the 25-minute mark.
That was all things Keel on the play. You set it up. You saw it happening before Team Fish Taco did, thanks to our caster observing skills. And look at this. I mentioned before that there is a ward there, and he needs to decoy early in order to actually not be spotted. That's exactly what he does. He actually is able to get in this range and split everybody up. And I want to point out where Winter and Sonar are, because you expect these two champions to be together. But Winter uses all of his spells onto Toasty to make sure he stays alive, leaving Sonar by himself. Winter tries to flash in, but it's just too late. And you see these two champions that work so well together. Well, they're just not together.
Now, Smacks, I don't want to call you out or anything, but was that a shield bow diff on the side of Deep Learning?
You know, Grapes,
He got pretty low.
It just might have been a shield bow diff.
The dash could have happened either way. I believe we're experiencing a bit of a pause on stream right now. We apologize for the delay. I know you want to see the game as much as us, but man, what a fight out of AR of Effect Ginger Turmeric. They found the right engage, and again, it was just TFT maybe going for these objectives, trying to funnel more gold into Sonar. Just a little bit too much.
You're seeing the embarrassment on my face that the shield bow actually paid off a little bit. You know,
just a little bit.
That's what happens when you question player builds. You know, it sometimes it comes back to bite you. I stand by what I said.
I mean, it definitely makes more sense to go the Gale Force. Like maybe in this one specific situation, the shield bow paid off, but who knows? They're the pro players. We're just watching them. I don't know, all things considered, but Deep Learning still actually making an impact there in that late game fight, taking down Sonar in the effectively 1v1.
Really big deal. It's so hard to actually stay in the range of the Caitlyn and the Zera throughout the entirety of it, especially with the Wukong. Like, again, Keel just did so much for that last team fight. As now we're seeing AOE Ginger Turmeric, they are pushing up mid lane with their Baron. Could potentially take an inhibitor. Oh, Winter.
Yeah, Winter has to flush away. Here's the ace in the hole. Will get blocked away by Limo, but there's the right of the Arcane. Shrimps taking down Winter from downtown, and the damage does not stop. Keel bursting down Sonar and taking down the Kog'Maw early on. Big damage though coming out from Limo. The turnaround could come through as 2 go down on the side of AGT. It's a 3v3. Limo and Alorem have to do a whole lot of frontlining. Big scatter coming out from Toasty. Existence still full HP in the backline. There comes the ultimate, and that is Deep Learning going down. Existence is just so unstoppable on this front side, though. Limo and Alorem have nowhere to go, stuck under the turret. Will they be able to survive? Captain Shrimps unable to do any damage to Alorem, and it looks like the inhibitor will go down in the mid lane.
It's just 2 members on both team left alive, but the 2 on AOE Ginger Turmeric have the Baron buff, and they're in the enemy team's base. Devastation on that front. Inhibitor dead now, 28 minutes into this one. It was slow for a while, but that's in the past at this point, Grapes. Team Fish Taco, they are now so far behind in terms of this gold. This could be their soul, though.
AGT didn't go for the resets. Shrimps and Existence are still pretty low HP. Limo has a full health bar and is trying to take away this Cloud Soul for Team Fish Taco. Teleport coming in. It will be from Alorem, and there is the objective secured for TFT. Extra move speed on the ultis will be crucial in terms of trying to escape. Will they be able to get out of this one? Winter nearly taken down. The 5th shot from Captain Shrimps, the rank 3 ulti, almost killing the Lulu.
That was really close. But now, all of a sudden, Grapes, Team Fish Taco have a Cloud Soul. This might be enough to give them the combat stats to actually take this next team fight and maybe escape the clutches of Keel's Cyclone. Alorem is trying something funky.
It was the Scion bait. You try to go for the big knock-up under the bush. Looks like AGT knew better than to do that. Existence, a pretty good Scion player himself, so goes for the ward. Valorem won't be able to capitalize off of that, but still a very close game. Soul on the side of Team Fish Taco, but Inhibitor and Gold lead in the favor of AGT.
Check this out. Sonar. He's
It
doing
is.
the Mia build. And yeah, you were also right. This is just a
sitting there.
hanging sword. I don't actually remember what the mythic is. I assume it's just a regular like AD mythic. Like
Maybe just a shield bow
Kraken
or
Slayer
something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kraken would be good. I think any of the mythics probably work out fine depending on the situation. Sonar at the point where going to be pretty survivable and also going to be able to dish out decent chunk of damage. The AOE coming out from the Titanic Hydra will be huge, especially in these massive 5v5s that are sure to erupt.
I'm looking forward to it at this point. I hope that Sonar can actually get to that item, and he's there.
Yeah.
He has the
3 items.
Titanic Hydra. That is a 3-item Kog'Maw. This should be the point of the game where Team Fish Taco are able to spike hard enough to win these fights. As long as Sonar is able to stay alive and deal all of the damage that we know this champion is capable of. A lot of that's going to come down to Winter staying in range of him this time.
He was looking for an engage. Top lane tier 2. Under attack here. Deep Learning and Duosalina are going to get hit up here by Sonar. Big damage, though, coming out. You see this Kog'Maw doing the work, but the siege continues. 4 strong on the top side for AGT. Toasty going for the reset, and here comes the right of the arcade. Can it take Winter down again? Ace in the hole. The poke! They can't even fight back! It's nearly 2 go down for TFT.
TFT, they don't quite go down to dodgeball yet, but you're seeing that this is just so brutal from Deep Learning and Captain Shrimps. I told you the range was going to be unbearable at a certain point.
Oh, here comes the Lorem. There's the ultimate, not going to land on anybody but the clone, but the stun lands onto Captain Shrimps. Duosalina still alive and still able to dish out whole lot of heals. Here comes Keel, though. He has the Cyclone available. Can he dive onto the backside? Existence looking to try and go for the flank as well. Limo pushed out of the engage, out of the 5v5, now looking for a flank. Existence tanking pretty low, but here comes Keel onto the backside. Huge lifting lullaby coming out from Existence, and that is what broke the camel's back on the side of Team Fish Taco. A double kill onto Existence, and Keel is looking to push forward onto Valorem as well. Only 2 left, and it might be 1 soon, and that is Area of Effect. Ginger Turmeric pushing down mid lane.
They're going to try to end the game right now through the Scion. Wave Clear's got 1,000 HP, a lot of shielding, but not enough damage to take down these minions. 1 Nexus turret dead, 2 Nexus turrets are dead, and AOE Ginger Turmeric finally get the win.
That was a very strange game. It was so
Yeah.
passive for so long. And then all of a sudden, AGT win a fight around Baron. They get the Baron. And then there's a couple of fights back and forth, and then that's just how we end here. AGT up 1-0 in the best of 3.
Wake up, analyst desk. I know it was a bit of a snoozer, but it's over. You got your segment now. we're ready for you. Oh, wow.
It was fun to take a look at the macro, because I think that both of these teams are able to play the map really well, and that's why the kills were really low. But when it came down to it, Existence got the free lane on the Lilio, got the counter pick, and was the difference maker in that final fight.
That was so crazy. I've been seeing Lilia against Wukong sometimes in some of the prep games and everything, and on solo queue ladder too, and I hadn't even thought that Lilia first pick denies the Wukong, and then you get both of them on the same team. That is so inventive. Both of them together just work really, really well. All the AoE crowd control, and team fighting capabilities, and just stalling for all of your damage and poke to come through. That's just really smart.
Yeah, some really, really good draft, and it allowed for the team fights to just be easier for the side of Area of Effect Ginger Turmeric. I mean, you know, TFT, they had the damage, they had the 3-item cog, just weren't able to get in range. The poke was too much, and that is going to be a AOE GTC at match point. We're going to send it over to the desk really quick to break things down. Hopefully, they're still awake.